What's up, guys? It's Mickey, and welcome back to another episode of Blank Canvas. How is my BK fam feeling? I hope you guys are feeling great, amazing, excellent, swell. And if you're having a bad day, I hope that you being here with me right now can brighten your day a little bit. I'm so excited to have you listening to little old me, and let's jump into this week's episode. So, the first thing that I want to do is I want to start out by reading some scripture, and this is from Romans 12, verse 1. It is the Message version. I usually read NLT. Yeah, I rarely read King James. I call that the spiritual Shakespeare, but I'm usually like an NLT girly. But this one is the Message version because I like the way that this one is translated. So again, this is Romans 12:1, and it says, so here's what I want you to do. God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, you're sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Again, that's Romans 12:1, and that's the Message version. So if you read it in another translation and you're like, wait, didn't she say? I have to be specific because y'all know I usually read from NLT. But that is pretty clear and to the point of what I want to discuss today. And it's about appreciating the ordinary. I think as humans, we so often look for extraordinary and major moments, right? However, there is beauty and specialness in the ordinary. The way a parent takes care of their child, even if it's like, okay, mamas, listening to me. And I know there are dads out there to do it too. Shout out to the dads that are hands-on with their children. But think about it, mamas, when you're making those lunches and stuff, it's an everyday annoyance of a routine. Or maybe you love it. I can't picture myself loving it every single day, but I think I will love the joy that it brings to my children, right? That may seem small and insignificant, or people may try to make it seem that way, right? But it's not. It's not. And it's something, I don't have that scripture in front of me right now, but it's like, whatever you do, do it of excellence. And do it as if you're doing it unto the Lord. So when we're serving each other, we should serve each other like we're serving the Lord. And I think He has that standard for us, so we don't serve each other half-ass, even though we still do sometimes, right? But if we have in our head that I'm not serving so-and-so, I'm not doing this for so-and-so, I'm doing this because the Lord has called me to do it, or I'm doing this because the Lord has told me to do it, or I'm literally picturing, I'm Xing out your face, like I'm Xing out your face and I'm putting Jesus' face right there, we would do things so differently. Even if it was, he said, even if we were tying somebody else's shoe, right? Like maybe we wouldn't speed through the tying process and leave it looking whatever kind of way because we don't care. If it was Jesus' shoe, baby, I'd be taking my time. I'd be like, is this too tight? Okay, does this feel good? All right, how you want your bunny ears to go? Like, it would be a different level of just attention to detail and effort on comfort and so forth and so on. Y'all get the point, right? That's how we should look at serving each other. But I also know that we as humans, although life is full of spectacular and major moments, they should be appreciated. So should the small moments. And we ourselves can miss the small moments. It's not always other people downgrading our ordinary things, which I know in today's time, if it's ordinary, it's boring. If it's ordinary, it's like we're always searching for something. I don't know what everybody is searching for right now, but we're all searching for like different feelings and things, or we're looking for like this spectacular feeling to know. And it's like sometimes the beauty is in the simplicity. I use this example. I remember when I was in high school, I had read this quote, and when a group of us used to talk, we used to all like compare different things. We used to be like, oh, okay, and girls be like, you want your soulmate and you think it's gonna like set your soul on fire or whatever. And I remember reading this quote, and it was something, I don't remember who said it, but it was something to the effect of, you don't always want the person, that sets your soul on fire. Sometimes your true love, your soulmate, is the person who calms you is the person you feel peace around. And if that's not the truth, I don't know what is. The people that I can feel my safest around are usually the people who exhibit traits of, well, let me not get into all that, but just, you know what love is. If you look and you want a specific definition, look in the Bible and look at the definition of love, who usually exhibit traits like that, right? Who are kind, who are forgiving, who don't keep record of wrongdoing, who are patient, stuff like that. And they also, as I got older, I realized they relax your nervous system. They say that you usually can fall asleep faster around people that you truly love and feel safe with. Your body is also known to relax more, right? And put you in a relaxed state. So you may, even if you don't fall asleep fast, you may just find yourself sleepy and you're like, wow, I've been up all day, but when I get around so-and-so, I finally just feel so sleepy and like I want to rest. You probably feel safe enough to be able to do so. And that's a good thing. But that's something that's ordinary, right? Like, that's what it kind of reminds me of. You want the person who kind of relaxes you. You want the person who eases your nervous system. As a person who has spent a lot of her life in fight or flight mode, I want peace. Okay? I want easy going. I want simplicity. And does that mean I want that in every aspect all the time? No. I like big moments. I like enjoying my life. I like watching other people enjoy their lives, right? However, I don't want us to minimize the beauty in the simple things. And I want us to minimize the beauty in the everyday thing. Like, I think in that scripture it also said, like, even the working life. Like, people try to make people feel inadequate by the jobs that they have or don't have, or the type of jobs that they have, and try to make a person feel less than. Absolutely not. None of us are better than the other one. And whatever God has called you to in this season, do it. Even if it feels like the most ordinary, basic task, and you're like, God, why do you have me doing this? God wastes nothing. Not nothing. I mean, in any season that you are in, God will not waste it. You have to trust him, okay? And you'll look back, because a true story, I can look back on some times where I'm like, I was just simply doing this, and this. But then I look back and I'd be like, wow, God was teaching me this. God was molding me in this way. God was preparing my heart in this way. And you'd be surprised how even the simplest tasks that he has us do can sometimes give us the skills and ability and the right perspective to do even bigger or great or extraordinary things in the next season. But we have to be willing to do the simple things. We can't despise the small starts, right? Or, okay, I'll use another example of how I was thinking. I'm an introvert, as you all know, and I'm a homebody, so I'd be chilling. And although I do like to go out and do other activities, I'm not really a club girl. But I thought maybe that's like a flaw in me, for not want to be in the clubs and turning up and drinking all the time, and just like, excuse my language if you don't like cursing, but throwing ass everywhere. Like, I thought, okay, maybe something's wrong. And don't get me wrong, I like to dance, okay? I like to have a good time. I just may not want to be in the club doing it. So it's not that I'm not trying to act like I'm holier than thou, because that's not the case. I can't even sit up here and act like I am, guys. That's not the case. I'm just saying the environment that I usually, like to have a good time in is not necessarily the club scene. And I thought, well, maybe I need to change that about myself, for a multitude of reasons. But I came to the conclusion of there's nothing wrong with me liking to be a homebody. There's nothing wrong with me not always want to be out on like a party scene. It's okay to love home. It's okay that if I want to do things, maybe I want to curl up on the couch and watch a good show, right? That's okay. Maybe I want to, whatever is simple, maybe I just want to enjoy that. And I mean, like I said, it's not like I don't like to do other things. Maybe I want to go axe throwing or bowling or skating, or just a simple, what happened to just simply having like a picnic somewhere? Going to the park, chilling out. I think we're always on go. And if you like to be on go, like if it makes you feel more productive and stuff, I get it. It is a good feeling when you're productive and you can, I've talked about this before, like if I have a list of things to do as I scratch it off, I feel so good. It's such a good, freeing and relaxing feeling. However, sometimes I just like to be chill because I am on go a lot. So when I do get to a place of where I can rest, I like to rest. And then also I think it depends on personality type. Like if you're around people and that recharges your energy, it recharges your spirit. I completely understand why going out and or doing things that surrounding yourself with a whole bunch of people. I get it. Like that is what recharges you. For me, I'm kind of like the opposite. Like being around people I genuinely want to be around, which is rare, or literally being myself, like I love that. I love that. And that is, what recharges me. Because too much of anything is never a good thing. It's balance. Balance is what we need for it all, right? So my point in this message today is I don't want us to minimize small beginnings, and I don't want us to minimize people doing what needs to be done, even if it's the simplest task, right? Do I want to share this? I don't know if I want to share this. I'm not going to go into too many details, but let's just say your girl had started enjoying serving others in a way that I ain't gonna say never, but I had never felt the feeling of I enjoy serving people in this kind of way, right? And I did. And I started to lose the feeling for a couple of reasons. And I started talking to God like, oh my God, like I just started to get to a point where I want to serve in this way, where I actually enjoy it, where I can actually, feel safe enough and like, people deserve to be served in that way. And then for different reasons, I started to lose it, and it scared me a little bit because I was like, if I lose it later down in life, will I not want to do it? And then I also had the thought of, well, this will kind of teach you how to serve even when you don't feel it. Because feelings change, right? Feelings change. Just like my feelings on that changed, right? I didn't 100%, I should speak right now. I don't currently 100% still feel the same way. It's just that I had some reasons to be a little hesitant to be so joyful about doing it. It's not that I can't serve or I wouldn't serve regardless. That's not the case. But there was a joy that I started to develop and get out of it that was slowly dying. And it was like so heartbreaking for me because of how much of a big deal it was. So I was trying to navigate all that, but it reminded me of the simplicity of just serving and still doing and kind of just letting things play out the way that they are supposed to. And that's a challenge for me. Me being a planner, me feeling like I need to have control, even though we know control is an illusion, right? Like I don't have control over any of this. I just have to take it day by day. I have to walk this journey day by day. And some days are better than others. Some days I'm like, okay, I see why it's worth it. And other days I'm like, you are an idiot. Run. Run, girl. Run. But through it all, like that's a prime example right there of how feelings fluctuate. The Bible tells us the heart can be deceitful. My big thing is not making permanent decisions off of temporary emotions, right? So like just because I'm mad doesn't mean I can always run away, or just because somebody may do something where I'm like, well, why am I serving in this way? Doesn't mean that I should necessarily stop, because my feelings can change on it, right? I can be like, this behavior or this action or what was done doesn't negate the overall picture. It doesn't stop the joy of serving in that way forever, kind of thing, right? That's another example I can think of. But I think the scripture was just pretty straightforward and to the point of how we shouldn't minimize anything. Like, even if you just tell somebody, give them a compliment. Like if you walk down the street and you give somebody a compliment, and you made their day. That was a simple task. That was a simple thing, but it made their day. That's, what I'm realizing in this moment? Sometimes the simple things can be more extraordinary. Well, I'm not even gonna say I'm realizing in this moment. This I know. Sometimes the simple things can be more extraordinary than the extraordinary things themselves. And sometimes the simple things last a lot longer. I can't remember this exact quote, but I will never forget I had somebody tell me, and I don't remember the whole context of the conversation, but it had to be something to do with like relationships or something. Because I probably was under the stance of, or probably asking like, what is it about new that is just exciting to people? Like, people tend to get bored, and I've been there. I tend to possibly get bored and maybe not want to, talk to a person or do certain things, anymore. And I feel like the real beauty is finding people who you don't get tired of. No matter what season you're in, you don't get tired of. But more often than not, I feel like a lot of us, we make connections and it's like we get bored of them, or it's not that deep, or it's not real, and it's just hard. But the quote that reminded me of the simplicity, this isn't the exact quote, but the person basically told me like, why can't it still be beautiful even though so much time is like passed, right? We look at long marriages or we look at long relationships and we look at the longevity and we're like, wow, that's beautiful. But when you're in the moment and you're trying to build that longevity, you're trying to build those things, it doesn't always feel as beautiful. Like, we look at the end and we're like, wow, y'all made it. Or, wow, you were together that long. Or, wow, you really loved each other for that long. But while you're walking through it, it's not always easy, because nobody really talks about what they had to walk through to make it to that point, what their journey looked like. And everybody's journey looks different, as individuals, as couples, all of the above. But I'll never forget they told me that. And even though I can't remember the exact wording, they were just like, like, why can't it still be beautiful? Even though it has like time and history. And that, it warms my heart in a way, and also reminds me of the simplicity of it. Like, I don't have to change me to become something that I'm not. There is beauty in me. There is beauty in how I operate. There is beauty in how God created my personality. There is beauty in how I look at the world. There is beauty in nature. Like, God created it all. Like, just looking at the world, like, we're down here in the South, right? We can smell when the rain's coming. Simple thing. But there's a beauty in that if you look for it, right? Like, the fact that we can smell the rain coming, and it's like, okay, especially after a hot day, all right. Or like if somebody, say you were out playing or something and you were really muddy or something, right? And you're like, there's the beauty of the rain coming to wash all this away. Or the beauty of a sunshine, the beauty of the moon, the beauty of the way a person laughs, the way they smile, the way they look at you, the way they sing to you, the way they dance with you, the way a child plays, the way a child admires anything, a person, a thing, anything that they love. Joy. We miss so much beauty. We miss so much wonder, because we're always either looking for the next place, looking for the next person, looking for the next thing. Trying to, especially when it comes to people, maybe I want you to have, I told you, we are a Build-A-Bear generation. We are microwavable and we're a Build-A-Bear. Microwavable because we want an instant quick it now. Build-A-Bear because I want a piece of that girl, I want a piece of that girl, I want a piece of that girl, or I want a piece of that guy, I want a piece of that guy, I want a piece of that guy. And then I want to build you. That's the Build-A-Bear I want, right? Like, and it just doesn't work out that way. Like, there is beauty in loving a person through everything. And I don't know if that falls under simple, but the everyday of being with them can be beautiful. The ordinary of serving somebody in a certain way can be beautiful. The ordinary of building a life with somebody can be beautiful. And even though that's a simple thing, even though it can fall in the simple category, building a life with somebody can also fall into the extraordinary category, because it is not easy. But the everyday task or the everyday routines that you have with a person, and things to look forward to, and look forward to spending time with them, look forward to talking to them, simple things. But the simple things build up, and you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, we really built a life. Or, wow, I was doing these simple things and I'm here in this moment, and now I can do this extraordinary thing because I kept doing the simple thing. So my final words, I guess I'll say on this subject is, don't let anybody minimize anything that you do, even in your everyday routine. And don't you, as a person, minimize anything that you do or any version of yourself that you are. Even in the everyday routine, there is beauty in the everyday. There is so much beauty and consistency. I love that shit. Sorry, that made me curse. I love me some consistency. Being consistent helps me feel safe. And one thing I notice when it comes to me not feeling safe, I don't like the defense mechanisms. I don't like the insecurities that it gives me when I don't feel safe. I don't like the questioning that it, makes me repeatedly do when I don't feel safe. I like the simpleness of being safe and content. I do. And so if we don't appreciate the beauty of simpleness, we'll always find ourselves looking for the next person, looking for the next place, looking for the next thing. And then that leads to bigger problems and struggles with contentment as well. We have to learn how to be content with where we are. And it doesn't mean settle. Don't settle for a person. Don't settle for a place. Don't settle for a thing. But learn how to appreciate and be content with what you have and where you are. And when it is time to elevate, when it is time to change, when it is time to move forward, you'll be ready and you'll appreciate it. And that's not even just in relationships. That's even in different tasks, okay? So remember that it pleases God to see you not only do it, but do it as if you're doing it unto Him. And whatever you're doing, He called us to do it with excellence. I don't care if you're going door to door, ringing the doorbell, do it with excellence. You're a greeter at Walmart, do it with excellence. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how it makes you feel, and you'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be, at how pleased it makes God. So that's all I got. And I just want, my challenge for my BK family this week is open your eyes. Pay attention to the people who are consistent. Pay attention to the things that you do consistently, whether for yourself or others. And appreciate the simple things. Appreciate the simple things you do. Appreciate the ways that you are simple. And I don't mean dumb. I mean just simple things that we have as our own individual personality traits. And appreciate the simplicity in others. And open your eyes and appreciate the simplicities of the world and nature. It's all right here in front of our face. We got to accept this beauty while we can, because time waits on no one. It is always going, and it is going fast. So I love you guys, and I can't wait to see what we talk about next time. All right, guys. Bye.